Blaster Master. What is it? Is it good? Is it fun? Is it playable? Let's talk about it. We'll get there. Oh, no, no, no. You are not making this as fun as I want it to be. Oh, the little dude can't jump like that. I mean, you're telling me if you don't have polka dot that you can like get through this? I call shenanigans, man. Blaster Master. Now this video is unique for me because unlike the previous two videos on Zelda and Metroid, I have never played Blaster Master. In fact, I have no knowledge of it. I don't think I've ever even seen it. I have heard the title before. I've heard lots of people say it's a great game, including this comment from one of my viewers, Ilif9963, where he says it is the GOAT of NES games. So one of my viewers recommends it. We got to check it out. But is it an awesome game or an overrated memory? I had to find out. So what is Blaster Master? Blaster Master was released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. It's a little hard to describe because it's a mishmash of a couple different genres with two distinct play modes. The first mode is some side-scrolling platforming action where you drive around in this wheeled tank and you're jumping and blasting guys with your cannon, but you can actually get out of the tank and walk around as like a little dude. Select. Oh, I got out. This is wicked. You can even do a little bit of swimming. Don't get excited. The swimming is not fun. Jesus. Also, alert. Getting out of your tank and walking around is extremely dangerous and not recommended at all, except for in the cases when you have to do it. If you get out of your tank, you will die. And not even from enemies, just jumping will kill you. Oh, what the? Oh, okay. Fall damage. You little dude can't jump like that. Now, when you do jump out of your tank, which is again required sometimes, you can go into these little caves, bases, dungeons, whatever you want to call them. We'll call them doorways. Here's where the second play mode comes in. When you go into one of these doorways, the game changes into like a third-person top-down shooter where you guys got a little gun and a grenade attack. What is this? We have had a complete fundamental shift in the perspective of the game, everybody. Also, your dude has one heck of a noggin. Hopefully he's got a big brain to go along with that, because otherwise it's a lot of empty space in that head. The game also has some Metroid in its DNA, where you get permanent upgrades from the bosses that lets you get back to previously inaccessible areas, and there's actually a lot of backtracking through the game's 8 stages. Is that quickly evident? That's 8. Do it 8. You understand 8. Now, let's talk about the story. I love to talk about the story in these games. The story, paradoxically, is both the best and worst part about this game. What do I mean? Well, it's the worst because there's almost no story really presented. But what story there is presented like this. Here, you can watch. Oh, okay, we can. Oh, got a pet froggy. No little froggy. Oh no! It's a pretty dramatic jump. Why is there a radioactive container just out in the yard? You really shouldn't keep your radioactive stuff out in the yard. Okay, radioactive frog. He's jumping down a giant hole. Oh, and your dude doesn't even care. He doesn't even care. He just jumped down there anyway. And there's a tank? Looks like a tank. Oh, and he's just putting on the armor and he's getting in the tank. These are things that just happen to people on the weekends sometimes. You know, sometimes you go to Home Depot. Sometimes your radioactive frog jumps down a giant hole. Now, the manual expands on this lore a little bit. This game is about a guy named Jason. Jason had a pet frog named Fred. One day, Fred decided that he had enough of being locked up in a fishbowl and made a dash for the door. As fate would have it, Jason was there when all this happened, and he gave chase. Once outside, Jason was totally amazed to find Fred running toward a huge radioactive chest. As soon as Fred touched it, he grew to an enormous size, and the radioactive chest fell into the earth along with Fred. Jason tried to reach for Fred, but fell into the hole along with him. When Fred landed, he found himself alone next to a huge armored vehicle. This was not just any vehicle, but one designed for the ultimate challenge against the radioactive mutants living under the Earth's crust. These mutants, created from escaped radioactive waste, are controlled by the plutonium boss. Your mission is to fight your way and destroy the plutonium boss before he destroys you. Along the way to your final encounter are many warlords of the underground you must destroy. Holy sh*! There are so many questions. First of all, why is there radioactive waste in the yard? Did he know it was there and he just didn't clean it up? Is it like, I'll get to that radioactive waste next week? Why did he jump down the hole? I guess the manual says he fell down the hole. Is the frog that important? And ultimately, when he fell down the hole and he wakes up, why did he put the armor on and get in the tank? Is that just something people do? You get knocked unconscious, you wake up next to a tank. I better get in. Let's go fight these mutants. And who left the tank there? Why is the tank just sitting there? Who left the armor there? Why does the armor fit Jason so well? The tank, by the way, is named Sophia the Third. What kind of name is that for a tank? That's the name of a princess. And I love that specs are provided for the tank in the manual.
At a height of 4 meters and weighing in at 150 tons, it's Sophia the Third.
And look at the nice detailed diagram. The side view, the rear view, and what you don't want to see if you're a dirty mutant, the front view, with that cannon pointing right at your face. So after Jason puts on the suit, jumps in the tank goes blasting out of the cave and into stage 1. Oh, that's one fast tank. Oh, right off the bat, great chiptunes music for an NES game, tight controls, good graphics, but I am confused. I thought we fell into a cave and we're fighting mutants under the Earth's crust. Why are there mountains and a blue sky in the background? You'll fight and jump your way through the first couple of screens, and then you'll come across some of those doorways we talked about earlier. You might think at first you need to explore all these caves, and at first you probably will, but you do not. The mutant boss you're looking for is in one particular cave in each level, and you just need to go to that one and kill him. Now that doesn't mean that the other caves can't be helpful. In these caves, killing enemies and destroying blocks, you can find upgrades for your gun. Look at all this stuff. We're loading up. Unfortunately, every time you get hit, you lose some of that upgraded gun meter, and it's really frustrating. It's especially frustrating because some of the bosses, if you don't have the upgraded gun, you probably ain't going to make it. And I tell you what, you can upgrade this gun all the way, and it's got this wave beam attack, but I call it the polka dot because it's awesome, and it looks like polka dots, and it reminds me of that dude from the Suicide Squad movie where it's like Polka Dot Man or whatever, and it just destroys things. That's what this weapon is, polka dots. Look at this psychedelic laser show I've got going with these guns. Look at this just beam of death I have going in front of me. And then when you're back out here, inside the stage, yes, cannon. Outside, yes, polka dot man. Polka dot man. Then you get hit and you lose it and you get really frustrated. Oh, no. Oh, come on, dude. Anyways, eventually you're going to find the first boss, Pink Blob Brain, and a few grenade hits, whatever. It's a pretty easy boss. He's dead. Your reward for killing him?
The Crusher.
This upgrades your tank cannon, so it does some more damage, but the main thing is that you find this green goblin looking face in level 1, and the only way to kill him is with the Crusher. Can I not hurt that thing? Oh, I bet this hyper attack can kill the green goblin. Suck it, goblin. Yeah. He's blocking the doorway to stage 2. Now, level 2 is a castle. Apparently, these mutants are building castles underground. This is like a castle. We started out in a radioactive backyard, and now we're in a castle. You're going to notice a pattern with me being confused about these mutants' abilities to build elaborate megastructures underground. Now, this level introduces one of the most annoying guys in the game. These worms. Area 2. Could you please stop that? How much? I can't hit you. What? They come jumping down from above, and once they're on your level, you can't hit them in your tank without either getting out of the tank and shooting them with your little dude, which is dangerous, or using one of the special weapons. That's right, special weapons. Out in the world or in the doorways as Jason, you can pick up these power-ups that give you ammo for special weapons in the tank. There are 3. There are homing missiles. Oh, that was awesome. A like 3 spread missile. Okay, what about this one? Wicked. And a lightning bolt that comes out of your butt. So like right now I could use electricity to, whoa, nice. That one makes a little less sense. So you have ways to deal with these guys. They're still super annoying, and they will show back up later and be even more annoying. Overall, it's more of the same. Kill the bad guys, stay out of the red stuff, find the cave that has the mutant boss, and kill him. This time it's a Venus fly crab. Knowing that I can shoot the missile things now is actually really helpful. Yes! Suck it! Victory will earn you hyper. This allows your tank cannon to blast through walls. Some walls. Certain walls. Very specific walls. Now, being able to blow through these walls will let you get to stage 3. Guess what the mutants have done this time in stage 3? They've built like a full-on fancy tech lab. That area 3. Oh, we're in like this is like the techno zone, the technical place, the factory. This is where they're building the robots. Now this level is a little long for my taste, to be honest, but the pattern holds. Make your way through the level, find the correct doorway to go through, and find the mutant boss. This time it's a computer, robot, android, thing, doesn't matter. Shoot them. Your reward? Hover. This allows you to jump and then hover. Actually, it's called hover, and you can hover, but you can actually rise up. Now the rise up part is necessary to reach the next level. It can also help you in general, just like jumping and avoiding spikes or going over top of enemies and things like that. But the meter drains it really fast, so you can't just use it willy-nilly everywhere you want. There are some enemies, only specific enemies, that drop more hover for you to pick up, but not every enemy does, so hover's not just laying around everywhere for you. Now, here's the point where a lot of players might be like, where do I go? And if you don't have the manual for the game, you might be in trouble. But here is a stage map that is shown in the manual. You can see from this very detailed diagram that in order to get to stage 4, you have to go all the way back to stage 1. And this list of hints later in the manual, like this one that says, earn hover by destroying the mutant boss in stage 3 and returning to scene 1. The gate to stage 4 is at the start of stage 1. So you literally have to backtrack your way all the way back to the very beginning of the game and use your newfound hover ability to go up along this wall, avoid these dudes, and go through this door. We're all the way back and D-bag. They did not make this cool. No. Now wait a minute. So that was tight. That was really tight. What is wrong with them? Why would they make the game like that? Stage 4 starts as this cave, which actually finally feels mutant-y or mutant, like a mutant. But then all of a sudden, there's sewer structures. So it's like, all right, they're mutants, but that doesn't mean they can't have a fast, efficient, and clean way to remove their waste. The plutonium boss, one of his first orders was like, and you will build sewers. We may be radioactive mutant freaks, but we will not live in our own filth. And once you find the boss room here, it's Fred the Frog. What is it? Is that my frog? Well, actually, I don't know that. It's a giant frog. I assumed it was Fred the Frog, but I really have no way of knowing. Yes! Oh, I'm celebrating a dead frog. Oh, victory here gets you
The key.
I mean, the key. Now, like most keys, it unlocks the door. And in this case, it's the door to stage 5. Stage 5 puts you in the water. The water sucks. At first, your tank can't swim, so you just have to sink like a rock all the way to the bottom. It's very slow and very annoying. And eventually, you make it as far as you can. You have to get out of the tank, and then you have to swim to go find the boss door. Okay, well, I am now left with no choice. Again, swimming sucks. Jesus. Once you find this boss, you better hope you have a good weapon. And if you don't, you need to go out there and build up your gun meter, because this boss, this giant bubble spitting crab, I'm sure is the ender of many runs for people, and probably the first boss that made you start crying for your mommy. Oh, you definitely need some gun power, because being able to shoot from a distance is like your only chance here. Frankly, I'm not sure you can even beat this boss if you don't have an upgraded weapon. Maybe at first you can damage him, but he starts spitting bubbles out so fast by the end that if you don't have an upgraded weapon, I don't know how you're going to get hits on this dude without getting rocked yourself. He's hitting me a lot. And this brings up a good time to talk about one of the biggest negative things of the game. It can take a while to get to this point. Sure, once you know what you're doing, it can go fairly quickly, but it's going to take you a few good hours to get here on your first couple of attempts probably. And you do not have infinite lives. You have 3 lives and 4 continues. So when you die, you'll start back at the beginning of whatever screen you were on. Unless you're at a boss, it'll actually start you right back at the boss. That's cool. But if you continue, you start all the way back at the beginning of whatever stage you're on. God, these guys are frustrating. It's going to take me all the way back to the beginning of this stage. Oh my God. And what if you just need to stop playing the game completely and turn it off? Because like your dad's like, hey, turn that off and go take out the garbage because you're the one who has your shoes on already. Well, just save your game. Nope. Okay, write down your password. Nope. You have to start from the beginning of the game each time you play. Now, this is not unheard of at this time in gaming, but that doesn't make it suck any less. So anyway, back to the crab boss. Once you beat him, guess what you get?
Dive.
This lets your tank swim freely around. Woo, look at this thing now. Anyway, once you get all the way back to the top, you can find the door to stage 6 and move on and never swim again. And stage 6 is the ice level. Come on, it's an NES game. All the NES games had to have an obligatory ice level and fire level. Foreshadowing. So here's our ice level, along with the also obligatory loss of traction on the ice. You're going to be slipping around like a piece of soap in the prison shower, and the mutants are just waiting for you to bend over. Now, as we slide and jump our way through the ice level, you're going to notice that the mutants this time have marked the structural support beams with like hazard paint at the bottom of them. I love that the mutants have built, like, you notice the bottom of the pillars have like the caution. Those mutants always being safety conscious. Now the boss for stage 6, another Venus flycrab, although this one is green, so he's got gonorrhea or something like that, but he can also spit some kind of white fire stuff. Acid? I don't know. He's harder than the first Venus flycrab, but honestly I think he's easier than the bubble spitting crab guy. Why is everyone a crab? Again, upgraded weapon. Makes it a lot easier. Not upgraded weapon. Good luck. Either way, when you win,
Wall 1.
let's let you drive up walls. Kind of cool, but not like super helpful other than reaching stage 7, which, by the way, if you go back and look at our handy map, is accessible from stage 2. That's right, stage 2. So now we have to backtrack all the way back through stage 1 to get back to stage 2. Luckily, and this is true for most of this game actually, once you beat a boss and get an upgrade, there's usually a pretty nice shortcut back to the beginning of the level using your newfound power, and that is true here. And we can actually get back to stage 1 pretty fast. Now back in stage 2, we have to find this room that has this very long vertical shaft. With our newfound ability, drive right up the wall. Stage 7, fire level. Remember those chip tunes I talked about earlier, like good music? Well, this stage has like face melting music that sounds cool, but it is relentless and never lets up from just like hammering at you. And the level's long enough that honestly, it's like too much. It starts to get a little annoying in my opinion. What is it? Oh my god. This music is almost too fast. I mean, I really think that this music could cause you to have a seizure. It's something. Anyways, headbang your way through stage 7 until you find the boss room. It's a long one with lots of dudes in suits, which I guess are mutants, but they look just kind of like Jason, just like a guy who found a suit underground. Maybe these are just a bunch of other lost guys who found radioactive chests in their yards and landed down here. I just really hate the guys in the suits. And this is another bogus thing about the game. Jason holds the gun in his right hand, and the bullets actually come from the right side of his body. But tons and tons of enemies show up on your left side, and you're on these really skinny catwalks where one wrong step will lead to instant death. And it's just hard sometimes to manage to turn your guy to shoot them without getting hit yourself. It's annoying. But once you finally get past all the annoying dudes, make it to the boss, you're going to find the Fire Frog. Was the first one Fred? Is this Fred? Are either of them Fred? Did Fred come back and he's on fire? I don't know. A little bit of grenade work. Fire Frog is dead. Your reward?
Wall 2.
Wall 2 lets you drive on the ceiling. Why didn't they just call it ceiling? You may be thinking, this is amazing. A tank that can drive on the walls and the ceilings. I've always wanted one of those. And while driving on the ceiling is necessary to get to stage 8, other than that, this actually is really, really frustrating, because where you were used to just driving off ledges before to like fall down to a lower ledge instead of jumping or something like that, now your tank will just drive like along the edge and turn upside down. And it's hard to get used to. And all of a sudden you're going to find yourself running into enemies and spikes and stuff like that. And you might be thinking, what spikes? Oh, just wait for stage 8. You'll see the spikes, which, by the way, stage 8 attached to stage 3. So now we've got to go back through stage 2 to stage 3 to get to stage 8. Stage 8 is actually cool in a lot of ways. It's the first stage that actually feels like mutants belong there. It's got a slimy, visceral, organic feeling to it. It's got creepy music, but it's hard, like really hard. Like, this is a challenging game in general, but stage 8 like steps it up a notch. The first room alone gets already super annoying with like 100 of those stupid worms, gray and pink ones. I don't want to die. Then you've got a couple of these rooms with spikes everywhere. So no. No. To make it through safely, you have to not only be really careful, you have to avoid the enemies. You got to have some hover to make it over a few of the jumps without hitting the spikes. Maybe I have to. And you have to effectively jump properly and not accidentally drive off the front of the ledge where your wall abilities will just wrap you around the cube. Let me have that. I want that. Are you kidding me? It's actually kind of rage-inducing. And it becomes all the harder if you end up dying and having to use a continue, because then guess what? All of your secondary weapons are gone and all your hover meters gone. And without hover, again, this gets really frustrating. And remember, it doesn't even matter if you make it to the last hit on the last boss. If you run out of lives and continues, it's back to the title screen. And there's a particular hallway in stage 8 with lots of those worm enemies and spikes, and it is the hallway from hell. And if you have played this game before, you probably know what I'm talking about. Over, and then nope, just drove right into it. Just drove right into the spikes. Just said like, "Hey spikes, come get me." I'm just gonna. Oh, we're dying. We're dying. Oh, get that! Get that! This is the hallway from hell, man. What the? Luckily for me, even though it was a pain and I had to use a couple continues in stage 8, I made it. I made it to the boss, the plutonium boss, which was surprisingly easy. Maybe I was just over prepared because I shot all these blocks out in this room until I built my gun meter all the way up because I refused to not have the polka dot gun. But either way, it made this last boss really easy. Okay. He's a boss. He's got a head. He's dropping rocks. My imagination was a lot worse. What? Tell me. Victory! Or was it? Surprise, surprise, secret final boss. That's it? That was the easiest boss we... What the hell is that? Why is he a knight? Why, after all the mutant monsters and all this stuff, is there a dude wearing a full set of armor with a shield and like a laser weapon, laser whip thing? What is with the... What is that? Not cool, man. Not cool. No! Joel! Look at the range on that thing, man. Jesus. This dude dances around, dances a little jig like he's listening to the level 7 music, and he uses this laser whip that has like way too long of a range on it. And he's, well, he scared me. I had sweaty hands and my thumb was hurting. But thank you, God. He killed me, I think, twice. No! Hey, high up. I feel like a fight. No! And then I kind of figured out a pattern that worked out. I took him down. I did not have to use a continue and restart all the way back from stage 1. Oh! Is that it? Is there any more? Is there any more? Yes. Yes. What is that? What is that? I thought we were underground. Why is our mountain collapsing? What is going on? Oh my God, my heart is pounding out of my chest. Who is that? Jason. There's Fred the Frog. Okay, Jason doesn't have blue hair, and Fred's alive. So was Fred not the frog that we killed? And how did he get small again? Or is he still big? I can't really tell. I don't have a frame of reference. Someone put a banana on the screen, and I'm still confused. We've got the blue sky. We watched some kind of like mountain tower crumble into the ground. But again, I thought we were underground. And if we aren't underground, what did we watch crumble just now? Why is Jason's hair blue? Anyway, enjoy your ending. The end. Very thanks. Presented by Sunsoft. Now, this game has its problems. I wish there was a save system or at least a password system. I wish the story was more fleshed out in some way. I wish it wasn't so hard in some places. I wish that the awesome music didn't get so repetitive in some of the stages, and especially during the boss fights, which can last a while. I wish the NES slowdown wasn't so intense on some screens. It can really bog down. And I really wish Stage 5 just didn't exist. Now, I know I just said a lot of negative things, but I'm rating Blaster Master as playable. It's not my new favorite NES game, but it's a totally playable game. It held my attention, and honestly, there was a point where I was annoyed and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but then like it just kind of clicked and it dragged me in and it made me want to finish it. It may take you a bit. Even once I knew where everything was, that last run took me like 2.5 hours, I think. Obviously, it can be done faster. And I was like this close to having to start all the way over and using all my continues in stage 8. Obviously, you'll have a much easier time if you use like a save state or a rewind feature on something. But if you play old school like I did, just know that it's tough, but it's a rewarding journey. Let me know why you agree or disagree with me in the comments, or just whatever you think about Blaster Master. If you are enjoying these videos, check out the others in the playlist. Next up, I'm revisiting Rygar. This is a game that my brother and I owned when we were little, but I have not played it in over 30 years. So let's see if it's still playable. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.